Thank you all for being here. If you please rise and join me for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Well, good morning, everybody. Thank you again for being here. The first thing on our agenda is our consent agenda. We have some contract extensions and budget adjustments and just some routine things, and I will move to approve the consent agenda.
Second.
A motion and a second. Any questions or comments? Seeing none, I'll call the question. Commissioner Boyce?
Aye.
Commissioner Kress?
Aye.
Chair votes aye and the motion passes. Agenda item number 2 is citizens' questions and comments. We have anybody online? Anybody, any emails? Anybody in the room like to come forward on citizens' comments? Seeing none, we'll move to the agenda items. The first agenda item for action is Parks Department, and I'll invite up Mark Wall, our Parks Director.
Morning, Commissioners. Before you have an authorization for the Parks Department to apply for a grant from the Oregon State Marine Board to rehab the Cooper Creek Reservoir boat ramp facilities. Requested amount will be, the grant amount will be approximately $900,000, and it's gonna require $225,000 approximately from the county. The total project cost is $900,000.
Move to approve the grant authorization.
I'll second that.
A motion second, questions or comments?
Is it for both of them or
We're gonna
just?
do the east and west. Yeah, when you look at the mobilization, it just makes sense to knock them both out. And the Marine Board's very supportive of that approach.
I know those are highly used over there.
They are.
So we have a motion second. Any further questions or comments? Seeing none, I'll call the question. Commissioner Boyce?
Aye.
Commissioner Kress?
Aye.
Chair votes aye and the motion passes. Thank you, Mark. Agenda item number 4 is a Public Works item. We'll invite up our Public Works Director, Scott Adams. Good morning.
Good morning, Commissioners. Scott Adams, Public Works. Item number 4 is the final order granting vacation of a small triangle of right-of-way on the Westview Drive, County Road number 3248 or 324B. Petitioners are Douglas Robert Johnson, Judy Elaine Young Johnson, Jeffrey S. Jones, Jennifer L. Jones, and Scott Gilbert.
Final order vacation of property.
I'll second.
A motion second. Any questions or comments? Seeing none, I'll call the question. Commissioner Boyce?
Aye.
Commissioner Kress?
Aye.
Chair votes aye and the motion passes. Thank you, Scott. Agenda item number 5 is a Sheriff's Office item, and I'll invite up Douglas County Sheriff John Hanlon.
Good morning, Commissioners. John Hanlon, Douglas County Sheriff. The item before you this morning is the third extension of a modification to an IGA between Douglas County Sheriff's Office and the South Umpqua School District for the term of 7/1/2025 through 6/30/2026. That is to fund a full-time deputy sheriff to the school district down there, works in the high school primarily. The agreement shall not exceed $197,634.32. And that amount includes the wages, benefits, and the cost of a vehicle.
Move to approve the IGA.
I'll second that.
A motion second. Any questions or comments? I'll make a quick comment. I have the opportunity often to attend Chamber of Commerce meetings in several of the cities down south. And oftentimes the school staff attends those also. And we hear very positive feedback about the deputy that's doing that work.
Deputy Ryan, he's highly committed, dedicated to that.
Well, they appreciate that and they speak very highly of it. Any other questions or comments? Seeing none, I'll call the question. Commissioner Boyce?
Aye.
Commissioner Kress?
Aye.
Chair votes aye and the motion passes. Thank you, Sheriff. Agenda item number 6 is a Solid Waste Department item. I'll invite up our Solid Waste Director, Nick.
Good morning, Commissioners. Nick Freisinger, Solid Waste. Item number 6 is for contract 30002510 between Douglas County and Civil Solutions Engineering LLC for personnel services on an as-needed basis.
Move to approve the contract.
I'll second.
A motion is second. Questions or comments? comment real quick. The complexity of the work that you do and the expertise of some of these contractors is pretty incredible. A lot of people think the dump's a hole in the ground, and it's not. It's a kind of living, breathing thing that you have to sort of take care of all the time. So thank you for the work you're doing on it. Again, it's more complicated than what people would think.
Appreciate that, thank you.
Any other comments? So now I'll call the question. Commissioner Boyce?
Aye.
Commissioner Kress?
Aye.
Chair votes aye, and the motion passes. Thank you. Gentlemen, I have one off-agenda item that we got an email this morning that kind of had a deadline in it. So some months ago, a few months ago, there was one of the watershed districts had voted to dissolve themselves, and we probably should have taken action then, but we didn't. So one of the challenges when we haven't dissolved it yet is it makes it hard for the bigger watershed district that sort of can oversee the entire watershed of the Umpqua, can't apply for grants because this other one's sort of hanging out there. So I'd like to dissolve the old Elk Creek Watershed Council. So I'll make a motion to dissolve the Elk Creek Watershed Council.
I'll second.
So a motion, a second, and again, there's a request to form a new one. We'll be working on that. It'll take us a little time to work through that. But in the meantime, my understanding is the partnership for Umpqua Rivers, that watershed council will now have jurisdiction over the entire watershed, including the Elk Creek area. So if there's a desire to apply for grants in the short term, the group that's working on that can work through the partnership from Umpqua Rivers. So any other comments or questions on this? Seeing none, I'll call the question. Commissioner Boyce?
Aye.
Commissioner Kress?
Aye.
Chair votes aye and the motion passes. That brings us to commissioner comments. Commissioner Post?
Nothing today.
I don't have anything either.
It's gonna be nice weather for a couple days. Hope people get outside and enjoy it. And with that, I'll adjourn the meeting. Thank you.
We have to reconvene as
Oh,
the.
that's right. We're gonna move on to reconvene as the local contracting review board. So I'm gonna reconvene as the local contractor review board. And our first agenda item is county council. We're gonna have, and it's gonna be a public hearing. So we'll start with agenda item number 1. Tiffany?
Tiffany Podlesnik, County Council. This is a public hearing on a request for the LCRB to authorize an exemption from competitive bidding, essentially allowing the 2 projects to proceed using competitive proposals. These 2 projects are already published right now. RFP 223 is the Douglas County Radio Infrastructure and Improvement Project pertaining to the microwave system. And RFP 224 is the Douglas County Infrastructure and Improvement Project relating to the VHF and radio alarm system. And so this is the time for any interested party to come forward and comment on whether or not an exemption from competitive bidding should be allowed. Essentially, it's still a competitive process, but rather than have cost be the only factor, the complexity of this project is one that the county believes proposals are the appropriate method to look at who's the best choice to affect this project for the county.
So we get to include past practice and quantity and quality and
That's correct.
other things, not just the bottom line. Very
That's
good.
correct.
Any other questions before I open the public hearing of staff? I'll go ahead and open the public hearing and invite comment on this topic. Anybody online? Anybody here in the room like to come forward? Seeing none, I'll close the public hearing, and I'm assuming there's a board action to take.
That's correct. This item number 2 is the board order that would authorize the exemption, allowing these projects to proceed using competitive proposals. And this is for the board to take action.
Okay, this is agenda item number 2. Basically, it approves as a board order, what we just talked about in agenda item number 1.
It approves the exemption, yes. And I would note that we are currently soliciting these RFPs. Normally, you would have the LCRB go make its decision first. There is a statutory provision that allows them to proceed simultaneously if there's time constraints that aren't an emergency. And in this case, the county does have a grant that funds these projects. And so the timelines of the grant were such that we needed to get these RFPs up and running and then also have this process take place.
Thank you for working on this in a way that can be timely. The other issue around time is the system that we have now is end of life and continuing to be more and more difficult to maintain. So there is an importance and an urgency to get it moving forward. Ms.
So-
Culchel?
I would move to approve the board order.
I'll second.
A motion, a second to approve the board order. Comments?
Just, I'd like to thank Tiffany too for process through. Appreciate it.
Any other questions or comments? Seeing none, I'll call a question. Commissioner Boyce?
Aye.
Commissioner Chris?
Aye.
Chair votes aye and the motion passes. Anything else for us? Nope, I'll go ahead and adjourn this meeting. Thank you.
Thank you.